Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Curl Up. Welcome to our latest cinema chat. Today I'm going to be chatting about my 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. I'm just going to be diving into the 10 movies that I'm most excited for to come out in this new year. We always got great movies coming out every year, and I'm just going to be talking about the 10 that I'm most excited for and why. Just a quick little reason why I'm most excited for these ones in particular. I will be talking about them just in their release order and not in the order that I'm most excited for, because most of these would fall under like, oh, I don't know, we haven't gotten trailers for a lot of them. But I will be saving the one I am the most excited for, the one I'm most anticipating for the very end. So if you stick around, I'll at least have my most anticipated. But of the 10 of my 10 most anticipated movies of 2020, the first one to come out this year is Bad Boys for Life. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence are back, and they're older than ever and they're back in the action, and I'm really excited for this one just because I always enjoyed the first two Men in Blacks. I really like Will Smith in any action role, and Martin Lawrence and him are just a great combo. I like that kind of, the bickering that goes on between them, the dynamic. So I'm really excited for that one to be coming out later this month. The next movie that comes out this year that I'm most anticipated for is Birds of Prey, coming out in February 7th. This is another DC movie. It's the Harley Quinn movie, but it's Birds of Prey because she's got a gang with her. So I'm really excited for this one. I'm always excited for DC movies for the most part, and I'm always excited for something new, and this one seems like it's new. They said it's not really connected to the DCU particularly. It's kind of just its own thing, and I'm excited to be checking that out. The next thing to come out, or the next movie, the next movie that I'm most anticipated of 2020 is A Quiet Place Part 2, which comes out on March 20th. I'm excited for this one because I really enjoyed the first Quiet Place. It surprised me how much I really enjoyed that one, actually, because I'm not usually a big horror fan, but I liked this new take on it. I like this different take, this quiet movie. How I remember the experience in the theater of how dead silent it was because we were all just so in the moment in the movie. So I'm excited to see where we go with this second one, whether it's obviously the same kind of premise, but obviously they're going forward in the world, so I'm excited for that. The next movie on my most anticipated list for 2020 is No Time to Die, James Bond 007. That comes out April 10th, and again, this year's great from the different franchises that I love, and Bond is one of those ones that I grew up watching all the old ones with my family growing up, and I've loved the Daniel Craig ones ever since I've been growing up with them. So I'm really excited to see this one, the last Daniel Craig one. Again, this is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, you say it's the last one, Daniel, but I'll believe it when I see another one. But yes, I'm really excited to see that, and I really like the name of this Bond. It feels very Bond-esque. No Time to Die. It feels like a little bit more like one of the older, or one of the Sean Connery era James Bond titles, so I really like that as well. But yes, next on my most anticipated movies of 2020 is Black Widow, which comes out May 1st. Obviously, like I said, I'm always excited for superhero movies, and Marvel has never disappointed me, to be honest. So I'm excited for this one. It isn't necessarily the thing I'm most excited about from Marvel next year, but I am curious to see Black Widow finally get her own solo movie, and it's seen David Harbour in there also, seeing him suiting up. It just looks like it's going to be fun and a different take, and I also like that this is one of those characters that I don't know too much about. So obviously we only know what we've learned from this, but I also I don't know as much about her from the comics or other sources besides just the MCU movies, so I'm just excited to kind of get a little bit more of that. The next on my most anticipated movies of 2020 is another superhero movie. Surprise, surprise, is Wonder Woman 1989, which comes out June 5th, and this obviously I'm excited for. Again, I love me a DC, I love me a superhero movie, I love me a sequel. I'm not one of those people who hate sequels most of the time. Some movies, yes, don't need sequels, but superhero movies always can use a sequel, in my opinion. So I'm excited for this. I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman, and I've enjoyed pretty much all the DCEU movies, or all the DC movies that have come out, so I'm excited for that one as well. I also think that's going to make a lot of money, because sequels, DC, superheroes, in the summer, always make a lot of money. So yeah, I'm excited for that. The next one up is a kind of a different turn. It's not a superhero movie. Surprise, surprise. But the next one on my most anticipated movies of 2020 is Bill and Ted Face the Music, which comes out August 21st. Now, this movie was one of those things that for the last like few years, you know, it was one of those like kind of rumors. It felt like an urban legend almost. You know, one of these things that was always going to maybe happen. You know, that they always kind of talk about, but you kind of assume that's, you know, not real. And then you see a picture of the two of them at the what's it called, the place in LA where they took the picture and announced, or made the video and announced that they were actually doing this one. So the fact that this one's getting made, I'm super excited for. I love Bill and Ted, Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey. Those are great, just two of my favorite comedies of just all time. Mixing, when you mix sci-fi and comedy, I just love it. And those two are just great. They're dynamic. And the fact that the two movies are both similar in senses, but also have their completely different stories. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm excited to see where we go. I love that they're continuing the continuity a little bit, being like, oh, it's been 30 or 20, 30 years, and they still haven't figured stuff out yet. And I'm like, that's my Bill and Ted. So I'm very excited, as you could tell, for that one. And it's, like I said, it's not a superhero movie, so that's a change up for me. So yeah, the next thing is another franchisee. Some people probably aren't as excited for this one, and I had some iffy feelings about the last one in this franchise, but the next movie on my most anticipated movies of 2020 is Godzilla vs. King Kong, or Godzilla vs. Kong, which comes out November 20th. Now, this one, I didn't love everything about the last Godzilla movie, but I did love the Godzilla fighting, like all the monster fighting and stuff like that. And so this one's premise is based off of, you know, our two biggest movie, or two of the biggest, you know, movie monsters coming onto the screen finally. They've been building up to this for a while now, so I'm excited to see those two, you know, on the big screen. If it actually comes out this year, it's possible, you know, it gets delayed. Things get delayed all the time. New Mutants, which is coming out this year, finally was delayed a couple of years. So that's one movie I think, if anything's getting delayed this year, I think it's probably going to be that or the next movie on my most anticipated list, which is Dune, which comes out December 18th. Now, I don't know too much about Dune. I tried to watch the one movie, from the 70s, 80s one. It was on Netflix. I tried to watch it. It was a little dull, but I liked the premise behind it. I read the Wikipedia page on Dune at one point, and I'm curious about it enough. I'm always down to check out a new sci-fi franchise, so I'm curious to see if this one will actually come to fruition. That's what I was saying before, is this is probably the other one. This and Godzilla are probably the two movies that, if anything's getting delayed this year, it's probably those two, and maybe New Mutants if they just decide to be dicks again about it. But yes, so that's 9 of my 10 most anticipated movies of the year. So now those kind of all go around in different order. Depending on the month, I'll have a different feeling about it. But the one movie that I am definitely most anticipated, most excited for in 2020 is The Eternals from Marvel, coming out November 6th. Now, this one I'm the most excited for because, again, superheroes, Marvel never disappoints, Some of the reasons I've already mentioned, but this one in particular I'm really excited for because it is another Marvel movie that I know nothing about. I know nothing about them from the comics. I have no idea, no like even inkling, no prediction of my own of what this movie is going to be, and that always excites me about a superhero movie, or any movie in general, but superhero movies in particular, when I get one that I can't in my head imagine what's going to play out. And so The Eternals, it's such this like kind of grand scoping thing from what I've heard. I don't like, that's what I said, I don't know much about it, and I've only gotten little bits and pieces, and we haven't gotten a trailer yet, and I'm imagining we might not for a couple more months still. Probably closer to Black Widow would be my guess, but so that's the Eternals is my most anticipated because it's something that I just don't know really anything about and what's going to happen or have any kind of prediction about. So that makes me excited to have something so new, because pretty much they can do anything with it, and it's going to be new to me because I don't know anything about those characters or about, you know, the story or the comics of focus around the Eternals. So I'm really excited to check that one out in November. And like I said, Marvel never disappoints me personally, and so I'm happy. I'll be very happy to see, well, hopefully it won't disappoint, but I'm rarely ever disappointed by any movies ever. But yes, so that's my 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what your 10 most anticipated movies are coming up this year. Are they all the same as mine? Are they all superheroes like me? Did you add a couple more superheroes that I missed, like Venom 2 and Morbius? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.